Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Lucas, and this is Doing the Deal. And what we're going to be getting after today is an update video for our basement hydroponics grow system. I know it's been a few weeks. We didn't really have anything going on other than plants going from smaller plants to bigger plants. We've made a couple of changes here recently. And so that's what we're going to go over with you guys today, and then we'll take a look at the plants, all right? So biggest thing we did is we are now running 2 of these SE5000s instead of the SF4000 that we had in there. So that is a change right there. We have changed our light schedule to a 12 and 12. We have upped our par. So we're trying to run between, because of varying sizes, between 600 and 650 par per node, which is in there, to attempt to flower more. And in our previous video, we had upped our nutrients into a more flower heavy state. We did these things to combat some blossom drop that we were getting on some of our pepper plants, not some of them, all of them. So we changed those things. In addition to that, we try to, on the regular, we're always down here on the regular, but we are trying to hand pollinate as many of the peppers as we can, and I think some of these changes have been successful. In addition to that, down here we're adding a little bit of water to the system. Our pH was very high when I came down this morning at about 7.5. Our EC is about 2.1, and our parts per million are about 850, 900 or so. So we're gonna add some water, we're gonna adjust our pH, we're gonna leave our nutrients as is. And we're going to continue to see how that goes. But from this point forward, let's flip it around. Let's take a look at the new light arrangement and some of the other things. Oh, one more thing. We did have a tomato plant in here that would have been like probably right behind my head in this spot right here that we have taken out. Not because it was dying or unhealthy or anything. Now, it wasn't the healthiest of plants in there. But we are still getting an abundance of tomatoes from our outdoor garden. That it was almost irrelevant, and it was becoming rather invasive. So I think if we do tomatoes again, we're definitely going to try with like a dwarf variety or something like that, all right? So without any further ado, let's flip it around. Let's take a look at our plants and see what we got going on. All right, guys, here we are. We'll start over here. We are rocking the 2 of these now instead of the 2 different lights. They are still all hooked together with our light timer, which is pretty dope. But we take a look. We've got good peppers coming down on these ones. This big one right here is a Jedi. And this one over here is an Ace Bell pepper. We've got some coming in. Some more over here. I've been trying to clean up the leaves, make sure that we can get adequate light through the canopy, but they just keep going. So these 2 are doing really, really good. We'll come across, we have a Carmen and a Helios over here in the back that also look really well. So if we come on back, changes in lights, we can see we've got flowers for days. We come in, little hand pollination. Sometimes get my kids in here, they liked it too, right? Also shake it, give them a little shake. But yeah, the tops of these are looking really good. We've got some peppers. These ones are supposed to be along the lines of a habanero, so we'll see. We should get some orange, maybe yellow peppers. Right, not too bad. I believe one of these is a jalapeno. I have to double check my notes. But pretty good on this one. There you go, some nice little pollen from hand pollination. You use electric toothbrushes if you want to, get really after it. Nice little shake will do the deal. This is our Carmen. So we've got a couple down here. I really think I need to come up and cut off some of these tops to force more fruiting. I don't know. We'll see. They still keep doing well, right? So our peppers are coming in really nice. With the light schedule change and things of this nature, it stays relatively cool in here. We're at over here 38% relative humidity and 80 degrees. That'll drop since we have the door open. But it's been relatively cold over the past few days here in New England. Not relatively, I mean colder than it was. It's not warm, but. And then here's our beans. They still don't look great. I mean, maybe they do. I've never grown beans before. Maybe they're supposed to look like that. But we're getting beans on the daily. We're freezing them, we're eating them, so that's fantastic. We've got a couple more chard coming in from the Swiss chard. Or like this, because it's thriving and we're eating it, and we can get some more. We've got some more kale coming in. This one doesn't look too hot. Could be the temperatures. It could be the amount of nutrients that we're using for the flower, so on and so forth. Might have to find a happy medium. Could be the light schedule. Same with our spinach. It's still kicking ass and taking names, but it has started to bulb. So one hot day in here, temperature not controlled. We've got a bolting something. Temperature's just too hot, or whichever. But we'll figure that out. We'll let it go, see what happens. The beans are still great. We came in here and got a whole bunch the other day, but we can get more if we wanted. I like them a little smaller. Eat the whole thing. This bad dude's huge. Nice little bean, right? Same over here. The beans are fantastic, so we're just going to continue rocking them. Same as the other ones. We keep the canopies. We try to keep them nice and trimmed up, so that sunlight and artificial sunlight, our light can get all the way to the bottom. We are rolling with several of these around this tent. It is a big space. There's a second one and a third one over there. I would still really much like another blower fan, but we'll have to see what happens in winter in our basement space. I'm curious, but yeah, everything's kicking ass, taking names. Can't wait to eat some of these peppers. So let's go ahead, wrap it up, and flip it around for some final thoughts. All right, guys, so overall, I would say that I'm very pleased with everything that we have going on in the system behind us. The peppers are fantastic. I can't wait to start seeing some colors and to eat those bad boys. I like to dry them, make some like chili powder stuff. I like to ferment them and make hot sauces, so definitely excited about those things. The chard is kicking ass, taking names, and I kind of expected it, which is why we have more going on, because it always thrived in the aquaponic systems when we did those things. Very pleased with the beans. I'm gonna let those go until they decide to do whatever beans do. I'd say as a whole, for whatever vegetable ecosystem we got cooking over here, the light change to a 12 and 12 schedule, as well as the raising the par to be closer to the lower end of what would be the flowering chunk of that stuff, has been beneficial to predominantly everything except for the spinach, which bolted. It still looks good and tastes good. I had some yesterday, but eventually it will not taste so good. So at that point, I have to figure out what to do. And the kale, we'll have to see what's happening there, but the other one coming in behind it looks pretty good. So I think the lights maybe affect those two things. I think the change in our nutrients affect those two things. But all in all, very pleased with the system. We do have a couple of empty nodes in there. I've got some other peppers coming, some ones called bottle rockets, but they're only about like yay big so far. They just popped the other day. So hopefully we get them a little bit more sturdy to be able to plug into that system. With that being said, I'm very interested to see what colder weather outside does to this basement space, as we did not mess with this space at all predominantly last winter. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Anything else I left out, please let me know. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, advice, they are all always appreciated and welcome. Please mash them in the box below. If you like what you like, please hit that like button. And if you want to continue along our epic journey of indoor New England basement gardening, mash that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers, y'all.